Good afternoon, everybody. Mark Drumheller here with Dave Gleckner for our weekend parlay. It's Friday. Everybody's been working all week. Good way to kind of ease into the weekend and throw together a nice parlay. Last week's hit at plus 451. So pumped up. We're going to go a little bigger. We're going to raise the stakes. But again, guys, this isn't, a plus EV bet. Not an official play. Just try to put together these parlays, make a little money, get the weekend started right. Dave, how you doing, man? We hit last week. We did the job. Can we do it again?
I know. How sweet was that? Obviously we both had some bets in there to combine that and starts us off on a great track. I'm pumped. I think we've got some winners this week too. I'm real excited to talk about what we'll call a big multi-sport parlay going across, lots of different action here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, everyone listening, we're going to have 4 legs across 4 different sports to kind of keep it fun. 2 plays tonight on the hardwood. Obviously, lines aren't out yet for, tomorrow's action. And then we're going to have, 2 plays for the weekend as well for tomorrow. So let's get into it, Dave. Let's get started. See if we can hit this one. The final odds on this one are going to be plus 1292. So, lots of money. We're raising the stakes here from being plus 451. We're going to get into it, but let's start with the NBA.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite teams in the NBA, a lot of people's favorite team, just from a betting perspective, but also a intriguing long-term futures perspective. And that's the Cleveland Cavaliers, sitting 4th place comfortably in the Eastern Conference now that Brooklyn has decided to bow out. I think Cleveland's going to, I think there's too big of a gap between them and the Sixers for them to get up to 3rd. That's a 5-game gap in the loss column, but they are a solid team, and they're a team to be reckoned with and scared because, you got Mitchell. You saw him in the All-Star game. You got Garland. You got Mobley, who's coming into his own. Jared Allen's a great piece there. Karis LeVert, very solid team. Tonight they traveled down to Atlanta where they happen to be 1-point dogs, and a lot of that is because Cleveland played last night. So it's a back-to-back in a travel situation. They lost to the Denver Nuggets in a very closely good battle contest, but we all know how good the Nuggets are. And now they have to travel to Atlanta on short rest, and they get the dog status. Well, you know who's really a dog? The Atlanta Hawks and their players. Firing Nate McMillan over the All-Star break was truly a forced hand based upon Trae Young's inability to get along with his head coach. And really, I think he played like that. I don't think he played with, urgency. I don't think he played hard, and he got his wish. He's gone. And now they got this team that, John Collins doesn't want to be there, should have been traded at the trade deadline. Interim coach Joe Prunty coaching tonight, but news coming out about an hour ago is Quinn Snyder will be hired. So there's all this stuff going on, right? And then to me, it's a long break. They've been off for about 8 days. And Cleveland played. I actually think that's a little bit of advantage. The travel's a 2-hour flight, no big deal. So I really like the better team in this one. The better team are the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't worry about the back-to-back games. They only lost back-to-back games once since the middle of January. So I think now they have lost back-to-back. If you combine the Sixers game before the break, I think they break that streak tonight.
Yeah, I love it. Cleveland, a great spot here to hit. Play against Atlanta, who it's just chaos, right? It's like Real Housewives of Atlanta. Too much drama going on there with the Hawks. So first play is going to be Cleveland Cavaliers +1 against the Atlanta Hawks tonight. And then for our second play, we're going to go to college basketball tonight in the Big East. I'm going to take the Seton Hall Pirates at home +1.5. Xavier is a team that is just not the same without Fremantle. They don't play a lick of defense. These two teams are almost polar opposites, right? Xavier wants to run ISOs, shoot threes. Seton Hall can D you up, lock all that away. Just pretty brutal offensively. This year, Seton Hall's MO has been a little bit of, hey, they beat the teams they're supposed to. They lose to the teams they're supposed to, right? But they did punch up and get that win against UConn. And I think they can do it again here at home. Listen, they're probably not going to make the tournament, but, they're still holding on to that dream, I think. And I think they're going to come out and play hard. I think, Holloway's done a tremendous job here, with Seton Hall and with the cards that he's been given. So I think in this spot, I think that, they play good defense here against Xavier, who just isn't the same without Fremantle. Like in that first matchup, when they played, Fremantle had like 23 points. So I think they're going to continue to miss him. They don't play any defense. So I think Seton Hall is going to be able to keep this one close. And I think in front of the home crowd, I think they're going to pull it away.
I like it. That's a big game for both teams tonight. But yeah, I lean towards those Pirates. I like the pick. And then I guess we're going to move over to some football now, right?
Yeah, let's get to tomorrow now. So there's tonight's plays, but the third leg, we're going to move it to tomorrow, get into Saturday, and we got a game in the XFL.
Yeah, I'm looking at one that I just think, after watching the games last weekend, and Drums, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought it was a fantastic opening weekend for the XFL. I think, yeah, there's definitely some, the skill level is different than NFL. I got it, but I think this was one of the better played football weekends that spring football has ever had.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, definitely. I think so too, man. It was it's going to take a little bit of time for the offenses to get clicking, but
yep.
it's expected. And again, it's a running clock, so you're not going to see as much scoring as you would in a typical NFL game.
Yeah, true. And then it's really, to me, the O-lines. The O-lines really, they never got to hit anybody. They never got to see different blitzes coming in. So I think they're going to be part of the piece that takes a lot of time. So we'll move to one game where really the eyes saw it all. And I'm going to go to the DC Defenders at the Las Vegas Vipers. And the Defenders kind of struggled in their opening game against Seattle. It was the kind of weekend cap on Sunday Night Football. But they were able to bully out a win. And I mean bully because Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator from DC, really changed his approach late in the game and was able to confuse Seattle quarterback Ben DiNucci and create 3 turnovers in the second half to get his team on the right side of the winning equation. And that takes some savvy, that takes some skill. When I look over at Vegas, they still got some work to do with the pieces they have at the coaching position. They were up 14-3 against Arlington last week and let it all go away. So, yes, I like Luis Perez. I think he's solid, but in the end, I think Williams can craft up something to really confuse him. And the other key part of this game for me is Vegas allowed, I think, the second most rush yards last weekend. DC has the best running back in the league. It didn't show last week, but Abram Smith is definitely the best running back in the league. I think he gets loose this week, and they can control the line of scrimmage. They can do whatever they want at quarterback. Te'amu, Derrick King, they can kind of mix it in. But I think they control it on the ground. I think they dominate on defense. And I think DC comes out with a win. And you're getting 3 points on top of that. So I'll take them +3.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, that's really the big thing. I was talking about this last night, in an interview where I think that it's almost like the 2 is the new 3, like in the XFL,
sure.
right? Because
Sure.
like the scoring, so like we look at these games, including last night, another 2-point win. 4 of the last 5 games have been decided. 4 of the last total 5 games have been decided by 4 or less points. So we had the one blowout with Houston, Orlando, but everything else has been tight. So getting the dog here with some points, I think makes a lot of sense. I like Vegas. I think they could win the game. I'm just not sure if they're going to cover this 3 points because it's, they're a team that made a ton of mistakes, and we saw in week 1, DC can force those turnovers, capitalize on those mistakes. So I'm with you here. I like DC, getting the points. I think that makes a ton of sense. So that's our 3 legs. Let's wrap it up with the 4th one. We're going to go to the UFC, and I'm going to take Victor Martinez at even money. This is a fight that I really like. Jordan Levitt is a guy who really has no striking, is pretty much all grappling. That's what he's going to look to do in this fight. Martinez, a guy making his UFC debut. Hard to tell if you're going to get an adrenaline dump there, but I like him. He has good hand speed, clean hooks. He works the body, high volume. He's going to come at you. He's going to bring the fight to Levitt. And the question is going to be is, can Levitt, get those takedowns without eating a bunch of combos? And I don't think he can. I think, Martinez is going to light him up on the feet. I think he's going to come away with the win here. So that's going to be the 4th leg, Martinez at even money. So before we get out of here, let's wrap it up. We got 4 legs. You can kind of see it at the bottom of the screen. Cleveland Cavaliers +1 in the NBA. We have Seton Hall Pirates +1.5 in college basketball. We have the DC Defenders +3 in the XFL. So we got some dogs, and we got Victor Martinez at even money in the UFC. So those 4 plays will be +1,292. So, hopefully we can raise the stakes here, hit another big parlay. We're up from last week, so we're going to keep the momentum going. But guys, while you're here, before we get out of here, make sure you download the Sharp app. March Madness is coming. We'd love to have you in the Discord. The links are below. We got a lot of tools and information on there. Our AI prediction model's been cleaning up. Plus, the top props in the NBA has been huge. So if you haven't yet, be a part of the family. Hop in the Discord below and join us. We'd love to have you. It's going to be a lot of fun, especially with March Madness approaching. So that's going to do it for us. That's our 4-leg parlay. Best of luck, guys, and we'll see you next week.